I love it, especially you don't see Journey the whole video, and then here she comes to slam it down. But welcome in, everybody. It is Tuesday night. You know how it is. This is the night I roll solo without Daniel. And of course, I scheduled LSU because, he ain't worthy of LSU athletes. But tonight, a special opportunity. We have not had LSU volleyball on in a long time. You saw the clip. You saw that the team is talented. They got hard. Very long volley there. And our guest tonight in that video was setting left and right. Our last volleyball guest, Emma Grom from Kentucky, had the same role, and I have this newfound respect. It used to be all about the kills and the blocks, but now, the setter, the assist game is just something that I'm really infatuated with. So with that being said, Bailey Ortega, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. Thank you so much for having me. I love that you brought up Emma. I love Emma. I love watching her play, and I'm excited to play against her this year.
I mean, she's had some videos that I have put on our YouTube, and I showed her the one. It got over 4,000 views, which she's amazed. And I said, well, it helps that we have the subscribers. But I said, you first saved it out of bounds where it looked like there was no chance, but then you came back in and you reverse put the perfect volley for your teammate to spike it down. And I was like, so not only did you show the heart and effort, but then you come in and you put the perfect finesse.
Yeah.
I've seen her have a couple like little one-handed ones where she almost kind of flicks it up like you would do a layup with a basketball. And so, like I said, watching her, we've had so many of the girls, I mentioned Reagan Rutherford to you, we've had Azani Teeler, Allie Stumler, a lot of girls from Kentucky, obviously, you can tell, like girls who are known for throwing it down, getting those kills. But these last two have been about, the assist game, like I said, and I got a new appreciation for it. Y'all got some finesse, y'all got some swag. And then, one of the things I wanted to get right into, to correlate, you always seem like you're having fun and it carries over. It's the reason why I wanted to have you on. It wasn't just what I was seeing on the court, on Instagram, all your videos, whether on the court, off the court, with your friends, you're always smiling, having fun. What is it about it? You just enjoy life?
I mean, yeah, I would like to say I enjoy life. I'm really blessed to be where I am and have the opportunities that I have. And sitting here at LSU, like I would have never dreamt that I'd be here and be able to play for two great universities within my college career. But yeah, I am big in mental health and taking care of myself. And so because of that, it's kind of helped me live life a bit more free and appreciate life more and have more fun. And so I think that has definitely attested to the happiness that I feel when I'm on the court and just living life in general is the work I've done on my mental health.
Well, I love that you brought up the mental health. Obviously, I don't know if you've paid attention, but I'm a huge advocate. I've unfortunately, this Suicide Awareness Month, lost my biological father and my best friend, and then my cousin who did 4 tours in Afghanistan to suicide. I have had PTS bouts myself as a military member who's fought overseas, and so mental health being such a real issue. But I bring it up because we've had numerous athletes come on here, and I've been able to correlate military to athletes, because what happens, whether you're talking about one or the other, you spend your whole life being an athlete, because we obviously have athletes who've been playing for, 20 plus years, and that's all, and you have to figure out how to adapt for life when you're not an athlete anymore. And we're going to get into your story, and I've seen how you do academically. So I know it's something that you prioritize, but a lot of athletes don't do that. Right. And, when sports are over, they don't know where to go. And then, of course, in playing, not being able to handle, the pressure, the social media aspects, and all that. So I'm really glad that you're an advocate of mental health. It's a big deal. I know that your teammate Madison Martin, who's a guest of the show as well, is. So some very high character ladies that y'all have, and all the more reason to root for y'all. But, talking about breaking the ice, you mentioned playing for 2 great schools. When you look at traditions in college football, you are a part of 2 universities that have top 5 traditions. Want to start with Iowa. They have the kids, doing the walk across the bridge, and talk to me about, like, when you were there, how cool was it? Like, the first time you saw it, and just, how much do you appreciate what Iowa football does, having that moment with those kids?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I couldn't go to a ton of the games with being a fall sport, but I've been to quite a few, and even before I was an Iowa athlete, just being in the stands and experiencing the wave for the first time is it's a feeling unlike any other. Being in Kinnick and seeing the away team do it, the refs do it, and the entire stands look up and wave at those kids, and
Mhm.
hearing some of the stories. Like there was an Iowa football player who had spent time in the children's hospital when he was a kid, and now he was on the field waving to the kids. And there's so many great stories, and I think it's a great reminder that there's so much more to life than this football game. There's so much more to life than that, and there's so many other things that everyone else is going through that you may never know about. And so I think that's just a great reminder, especially in a sporting event like football that gets all of this
Right.
media attention. So I think that's my favorite part about it. But being in there and experiencing it, I mean, every single time, it doesn't get old. I experienced it
Right.
like 10 times total throughout my career, and I would cry every time, and I recorded every time I did
What's
it.
cool is, Bailey, if you look at the top 10 ranked college traditions, it's the only one that's like that. Like the rest of them are stuffed about, the crowd doing something that amps it up, or, the band or whatever, or running through, the Power T, Tennessee. Like it's the only one that has some sort of special moment like that linked to it. And so it's very unique. You could make an argument, they had it, and of course, rankings are like opinions, right? And they had it ranked like number 3, but you can make a case for number 1 just because it stands alone in what it does.
Yeah, no, that was the thing, especially being at Iowa. Like the children's hospital is in the middle of campus. So I went past it every single day. And we had a couple opportunities throughout the year to go in and volunteer and go read to kids and go meet kids. And it's such a big part of the university. So I love that they brought it into one of the biggest parts of the athletic department, which is football.
Right. And now you can walk across the middle of campus and come across Mike the Tiger, the only live, Tiger mascot, just chilling in his habitat. Last I knew, this was old information when I used to first throw it out there. It was like a $5 million habitat. With the cost of things today, it's probably more. But my daughter, being a student there now, appreciates just walking by there and getting to see a beautiful Bengal tiger just on a regular basis.
Yeah.
It's something that you don't get anywhere else. But did you get to go to the first home LSU football game?
I did not. So my first home football game will be this Saturday.
All right. Well, I will be there as well. 2:30 game isn't the same as night game, but nonetheless, Tiger Stadium is never a bad time. But when you get to your first night game, and it will be an SEC competition, then I've been to plenty of places. The only place I need to go to, and it was in Big Ten country. They say that Penn State at night with the whiteout can rival it, but
Yeah.
when they say that the stadium literally shakes in Death Valley, Bailey, that's not an exaggeration.
Yeah,
It's
I've heard.
it's insane. I've never had my voice left coming out of there, and I don't mean like yelling absurd stuff. Just when we're getting loud on third down, and so I can't wait for you to experience that. And so yeah, you've had the blessing of Iowa and now LSU, and so yeah, you'll have to let me know how your first experience is. And it's kind of cool when you talk to other athletes. I just was talking to the South Carolina baseball guys because as an LSU fan, we were just in South Carolina and they had game day and it was packed, and they messaged me and told me it was the coolest environment. And even though South Carolina had lost, it was just a fun place to be in. And I think ultimately when you're an athlete at a school, right, taking in all the other sports that you have the advantages of, especially when you're at a school like LSU, Iowa, or South Carolina, where you're good at numerous sports. And so saves you from going out and spending money finding things to do. All you got to do is stay on campus and watch sports.
Exactly. No, that was something that I loved when I first got here in January. I don't think I missed a home men's or women's basketball game. I was at every single one. It was so fun.
So, sticking to the football stadiums, but talking music. We always talk music with all our guests. And
Okay.
we've had a lot of guests say their favorite concerts have been in football stadiums. So I ask you, if you could pick any, band or, musician to come to Death Valley, put on a concert for you and all the, students, who are you picking?
Oh my, that's such a tough question. Okay. I'm going to pick Chris Stapleton.
Chris
I,
Stapleton
yeah,
is amazing.
I saw Chris Stapleton live, and I love concerts, so I've been to a ton of concerts, and he is the best concert I've ever been to. His voice sounds better in person, and he's unreal. So I think I'd pick Chris Stapleton.
Yeah, his national anthem. Look, they always do the national anthem comparisons on Super Bowls, and usually people will try to compare it, and I'm like, and I'm real big on going all the way back, showing my age here, but Whitney Houston and Chris Stapleton was the first one where I was like, yeah, like let's have the conversation now. Like that dude. And what I love is this is a completely different voice and like genre type, right?
Yep.
He's got that smooth, like, because I'm not a big country guy, and that's because he's not. The reason why I love him is he's kind of got more of a southern rock type, deal to him. And then he does the song with Justin Timberlake and has some swagger to it. So
yeah,
I like that. If you can make that happen, Bailey, I don't know if you got that kind of power. Make a call, hey Chris, but maybe I do. I don't know. I might at this point enough connections. We'll see if we can make it happen. I'll meet you there.
I'll try to pull some strings. I'll see.
You know what? If y'all win a national championship, it'll probably help. So let's get that done first, and
Exactly.
we'll go from there. But last question I got, kind of on the icebreaker is, movies. Like I said, music, but it's always movies. What is the last movie that you went and saw in a movie theater?
I think the last movie I saw in the theater was It Ends With Us.
Yeah, I saw people come out of the movie looking emotional. Is that
Yes,
what that is?
Yeah, so it actually started out as a book, like a very popular book, and then came out as a movie, and it's a very, very sad movie with a very deep meaning, but I do think that everyone should watch it. I think it's an important topic.
We're headed in to see Despicable Me 4 as a family, and it literally was the theater next to it, and all these people are coming out crying. We're like, whoa, man, you're killing our vibe. We're fixing to see Minions here,
Yeah. Yeah, very, very different vibe. I've heard that some people go into it thinking that it's like a romance movie, which like it's not. I mean, it has some parts, but it's not. So
and Blake Lively's in that one, right?
Yes.
Which, her and Ryan Reynolds, I think, are the biggest, power couple in a good way, right? Like they're doing positive things in the world. So I think, I'm willing to watch anything to do with her, even if it may make me cry. So I'll put that one on tap to watch with the wife. We'll get the tissue ready and we'll do it.
Yeah, it's a good one.
But let's get into it. For those who don't know, where are you originally from?
I'm originally from Davenport, Iowa.
All right. So we like to ask, Davenport, if there's one thing we got to do when we go to Davenport, what is it?
Oh, that's a really tough question. Because if you're in Davenport, I would just say go to a Hawks game. It's 45 minutes up the road. Honestly, yeah, that's probably what I would tell people. Iowa City's so close. I would tell everyone to just go to Iowa City. But the good part about Davenport is it sits right on the river. So it's in the Quad Cities. So 2 of the cities are in Iowa and 2 of the cities are in Illinois. So you can kind of do a little bit of everything. I love the food back at home. There's a couple of Mexican places that I miss so much. I would love to have their food. So hit up my 2 Mexican restaurants and then go to Iowa City.
Well, I'll tell you this. I went through boot camp in Great Lakes in Chicago, and my best friend in boot camp, his girlfriend and his best friend both went to the University of Iowa. And so he asked me if when we first finally got a chance, obviously after we graduated boot camp and started our first initial classes, if I wanted to go with them. And I went there and had a blast on that campus for a couple of days.
Yeah.
I mean, everything, I was a little bit of trouble then. I might have, dabbled in some party life, but nonetheless, very beautiful campus, amazing people, had no issues, had a lot of fun. And for a guy who just got done with a boot camp, great vibes in Iowa. But let's talk family. I mentioned to you before the episode, I saw that, you come from an athletic family. So talk to me, who all's in the family and, who are the athletes?
Yeah, so I have an older brother. He's 20. Oh, it's just his birthday, and I'm going to get this wrong. He's 29. He's 29. He has a little one, just over a year old, but he played basketball at St. Ambrose University, which is an NAIA in Davenport. and he's currently in residency to be a doctor in family med. So he is still in Davenport, and that's what he's doing. And then mom and dad. So dad is currently an iron worker, and mom played basketball at Western Illinois, and she's a real estate agent. So that's the fam.
So when I think with mom, right, like y'all had to have had some fun, like pickup basketball games growing up because I watch you play volleyball, and while you're not gifted in the height department, you are, you're physical. You're not afraid to dive and get around. You're quick, like so. I imagine some competitive basketball games in the driveway. Am I wrong?
Oh yeah, it's we still have the hoop up, and it was funny because when I was home over the summer, my brother just went and grabbed the basketball when he came over for dinner one night, and we just went outside and we're shooting hoops like we did all of the years when we were growing up together. So we still do it to this day, but no, family is very competitive. We love, if we don't want to go out and play basketball, we love playing card games and like any game that we can play at the table. We love playing euchre. Euchre is a common one that we play all the time.
I've been told about that game a
Yep.
bunch of times from my friends. I've still never played it though.
Oh, it's so fun. So yeah, lots of competition in the fam. Sometimes a little bit too much.
I hear you. All
Yeah.
right. So at what age, because volleyball is not the sport, I don't think, at least not that I've seen around here where, it's not like soccer where you can just sign up at 4 years old and play.
Yeah.
So, I'm sure you dabbled in some other sports before you got there, but what age did you start playing volleyball?
So I started playing volleyball, I say my freshman year of high school, because that's when I got into like competitive club volleyball and it really got serious for me. But I think the first time I touched a volleyball was 7th grade.
Gotcha. And so, you get into that. Is there someone, is it, someone within your family? Is it a coach? Is it a professor? Is there someone that you look to that was a very big inspiration, and why you wanted to play volleyball?
Yeah. So the person I always say is Frank Flanagan. He is currently the club director at Iowa Select. It's a club in Davenport. And when I started playing volleyball, it was such a new sport and I was so excited. It felt like my ceiling was so high because I was late to the game in a way. And a lot of coaches just saw what I was in the moment and he saw my potential and he took me under his wing, and I would not be playing volleyball if it weren't for him. And he still is like changing kids' lives at the club he's at. And I talk to him all the time. I've actually was a coach at the club when I was at Iowa for a couple of years. So he is definitely the person that I always shout out, because if it weren't for him, I don't think I would have found my love for the game.
No doubt. Those are some of my favorite answers. Everyone's typically going to say, mom or dad or whatever, but I like hearing about coaches who
Yeah.
take it to the next level. It's not about just winning, but they're actually about mentoring and changing
Yeah.
young kids' lives and inspiring them within the sport. So I love that you had someone like that for you. So, talk to me is, where you're from. Like, we actually have a pretty good high school volleyball scene here. All the girls do play club, but you can actually get solid volleyball in high school. Where you're from in Iowa, was it one of those things where you had the same kind of thing, or was it something that you really had to rely on club to get some good competition?
Yeah. So what I'll say from my experience is, at the time that I was playing, our high schools were crazy talented. I just happened to attend a high school that was not as talented as the ones around me. But the schools around me in our conference were constantly like pumping out Division I commits, and they were huge. And honestly, in every sport, like our conference is really powerful on that side of the state. And but at the time, yeah, for me, club volleyball was huge. So club volleyball was where I got recruited. It's where like everything really happened for me.
Yeah, I mean, in almost every sport now, except for, well, basically football, because there's not really travel. That's how you get recruited, and high school ball. You want to win state champions are a big deal, but most athletes say that that's more about where you try to have fun with your friends,
Mhm.
and just kind of enjoy school. When it comes to the travel, that's where it's more business and to
Mhm.
make it to the next level like you're trying to do with college. So with that, you're from Iowa. You're probably, I'm going to assume, an Iowa fan. So was Iowa's always the school that you wanted to go to, or, how did it work out to where you chose Iowa?
Yeah, so Iowa was always the dream, but it was not attainable for a lot of my recruiting experience because essentially, and I'm pretty sure this is how it works in a lot of other sports, but a lot of colleges only look for the class and the position that they need. So if you're in a class and they don't need that position in your class, they tend to not look at you. So at the time, class of 2020, Iowa didn't need a setter. So I still went to all the camps, did everything, but they weren't interested and didn't need a setter. So
Shame on them.
yeah. So I didn't think Iowa was an option when I first started recruiting. So I was talking to other schools, and I also at the time didn't really think Power Five Division I was a possibility for me. I mean, I'm undersized. I wasn't a highly recruited athlete, and I was late to the game compared to other people in my class in my state. And so Iowa was the first big Power Five offer that I had. And the minute that they offered me and that was an option, I didn't even think twice. I could stay close to home. I've been a diehard Hawkeye my whole life. And my brother actually went to med school at Iowa. And my brother is like my best friend, my go-to. So I was like, oh my gosh, this couldn't have worked out better. So the minute that offer was thrown out there, I took it.
You love that it fell that way, and don't ever sell yourself short trying to, make it sound like you weren't capable. You knew you were capable.
I always knew I was, but it took a lot of hours in the gym and a lot of me having to shut some people up of people that told me I would never and could never. So
there you go. That's the best way to do it. So, in your time in Iowa, I'm going to read off these stats. I was talking about the assist, and it's crazy when you just read this. You reached 2,000 career assists. In 2023, you had 592 that season, 182 digs, 21 kills, and 8 aces. Concluded your career at Iowa ranking number 9 all time with 2,174 career assists. Other career totals were 574 digs, 45 kills, 42 aces, and 15 blocks. And 3-time all-academic Big Ten honoree. So, I got 3 questions that I really want to get to about Iowa, and then, really want to get into LSU and what you got going on now. But the first question being what we want to know from any athlete, what did you learn most from your playing experience there?
Oh, that's a tough question. My time at Iowa was nothing short of just everything you could possibly think of in someone's college career. I had multiple different coaches. I was put in multiple different positions, different offensive systems. So I think I just learned to kind of enjoy the ride, like living in the moment and enjoying the ride because there's so much happened in so many different seasons. And I had a new coach I was learning from and learning a new system and new teammates and transfers that were coming in. And so it was hard to live in the moment. And I think that was the biggest thing that I learned is just living in the moment and enjoying the ride. Like those are the memories that I cherish the most is when I just didn't care about anything else but being present with my team.
Yeah. And I mean, you talk about enjoying the ride. I'm sure, now that you're where you're at in this last season, it probably flew by quick when you look back at it, huh?
It is. Even my time here at LSU being like just getting here in January, I feel like I just got here. So yeah, college, and I hate it because I remember when I was younger and I'd hear people say, I was like, I got so much time. No, it flies. People don't just say that. Like it actually flies by. It's the craziest thing.
Well, and I think it's because when you're a student athlete, there's so much requirements of you as a student, and then I've just seen from trying to schedule Madison Martin for our Athletes of Faith show, and she's like, "We're crazy busy. We got this, and then I talked to you today about what you had." And I think the reason time flies is just because you're so busy every single day. And, when days are filled like that, next thing you know, the week's over and the month's over. And then next thing you know, season's over and you're finding yourself like, where did it go?
Yeah. No, it's
So,
our schedules are full, especially with Maddie Martin. She's busy.
So, gotta know, I read those individual stats off.
Mm-hmm.
Some people don't care about them. Some people take a lot of pride in them. Obviously you're a team sport. You're wanting to win a national championship, which is the ultimate goal. But for you, where do you stand on it? When I read those stats, is it something, especially when you make a top 10 list right on Iowa's all-time list, are those stats that, you feel really proud of? And when someone reads them off, it's like, yeah, I did that.
Yeah, I think it's cool. It's kind of like you always want to leave your legacy and you want to leave something. And so I think that's cool knowing that my name will be in the record books, even though I'm not wearing that jersey anymore until someone beats it and someone takes it. But yeah, I think that's the coolest part about it. And I'm proud to get one stat in a collegiate book, or even just, again, having my name on a jersey. That's always been my biggest thing. Like seeing my name on the back of a Hawkeye jersey, seeing my name on the back of an LSU jersey is something that feeling can never be replicated for me. It's unreal. And so the fact that my name's on a jersey and I have stats and I was able to touch the floor and make an impact is just like a surreal dream that I wish I could tell little Bailey that she did it. So
I was telling a story just a couple of days ago. Actually, ironically, we were watching. So that would have been Sunday. Yeah, we were watching, and the guy threw a backwards pass, and as soon as he caught it, he got blown up for the tackle, and so it's a -3-yard catch. Mm-hmm. And I was telling my buddy, I said, "Do you know my first reception in high school? Because I was a receiver and a defensive back." I said was the same thing. I had a backwards screen pass, and I said I caught it and I got drilled as soon as I caught it. And I said, so the very first stat I had in the box was a catch for -2 yards. And I was like, your first stat, you want exciting things. I got a minus in front of my numbers. Like, golly, nothing to be proud of on that first one. Couldn't get the next catch fast enough to get into the positive.
That's funny.
But last question, and I find this important. The word student athlete, I feel like it gets lost so much. So especially we're talking about an NIL era where it seems like the focus is more about, going places, getting paid. It's not about the degree you're obtaining, but you're someone who made the all academic list for the Big Ten every single season, which shows that you prioritize academics. So, what was it for you? Was it, something that was instilled from you by your parents? Is it something just because that life after volleyball is going to matter and you're going to want to get out to the job force, and that degree and what you did and how hard you work is going to matter? What's that driving force for you to take care of business and make sure you put the emphasis in student athlete?
Yeah, I'd say for me it's a combination of both that you mentioned. My parents, again, my brother is a doctor, and so I kind of followed in his footsteps. But definitely my parents instilled that in me in a young age. And before I even knew if I wanted to play sports, it was always the goal was to go to college and get a degree. Again, from a very young age. So I've always been like that with academics from elementary school and middle school up. I still remember when I got my first C in middle school, I sobbed my eyes out. Vividly remember that. It's just, I've always been that kind of
middle school. A C was a good thing for me. I'm going to be honest with you.
I left the classroom. It was on a math test. I remember whose class it was in and everything. It's so vivid and
Yeah. I kid you not. My son is a straight A student. He's in middle school. He's in 7th grade, and I'm so proud of him because I did not try. And the best thing you could hope for me is just not get in trouble at school. Great. That's where my mom just kind of went with it. Just don't get in trouble and get thrown out of school, and we'll be okay at this point.
No, that's funny. But yeah, I would say it's a combination of my parents and then also just knowing that I'm more than a volleyball player. Like as much as I would love volleyball to last forever, it's not going to. And that's something that I'm especially starting to realize as my career comes to an end is volleyball's not going to be there forever, but my degree, that's why I'm here pursuing a master's degree. My academics will be there and will hopefully land me a job that I'll love and be passionate about to continue on.
And that's so impressive because we talked about that, right? Athletes, when sports are over, especially playing at a high caliber level like you, playing for kind of colleges you are, when it's over, don't know what to do. Identity crisis, and that's where mental health issues really come into play. But for you, focusing on the academics, knowing and preparing yourself for after it's over, every transition in life's tough, right? But that's where we grow. And I think you're preparing yourself to grow in a positive direction. So I'm really excited just to hear the preparation you have for yourself. And, you talked about enjoying it in the moment. And that's why, as we get into it, talking about this current season, just enjoying every minute of it, because you do know that this is the last ride. And afterward, you're going to be, working and stuff. And, hopefully you're doing something that you love every single day, but, you might not be. So just enjoying life while it's fun, being a college student. To tell you a fun little quick story when it comes to LSU athletes, and luckily Kaya Johnson landed a job at ESPN, but she had an opportunity to come back because she had a COVID year and a medical redshirt year, and coming off the national championship at LSU, she could have used the 6th year. And I was like, do it. I was like, just stay in college forever. I was like, live it up, have fun, try to win another national championship. And she's like, at some point I got to go be a grown up and work. And I was like, oh, that sounds terrible. But she gave me the best answer. And this is why she's just my favorite person that I know and I've interviewed. She's became like family of the show. But Bailey, she said, there are girls that have been waiting behind me for their opportunity. And if I continue to stay here, I'm preventing them from getting to live out their dream. And I was like, who's selfless like that? Most people just aren't. Like, they're going to come back and do that right again. I would, and so it was pretty cool. So she decided it was time to be a grown up and get out there. And then when she sent me that she got a job at ESPN, I was like, nice. So we got Tigers invading ESPN. Hopefully, we'll see them doing big things on the sideline or in the booth. But, so ultimately you hit the portal, why LSU? I see the stats. I see what you did at Iowa. So obviously there's got to be a lot of options. What was it about LSU that made it the school for you?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for LSU, one, was just the opportunities that they have here. Like, LSU in itself is just this massive brand, and all of the opportunities and resources that they have here at LSU was unlike any other school I was talking to. Another big thing for me, like I mentioned, was my master's. So when I was in the process, I wasn't entirely sure what I wanted my master's to be in. And they showed me a master's program here that I could obtain in a year. And a lot of other schools, it would have taken 2 years or even a year and a half. So being able to get my master's in the year's time that I was here was another huge pull. And those two were big, but I'd say the biggest thing is definitely just the people. Like, this coaching staff, I've never had a coaching staff like this in my entire life, in any sport, in anything I've ever done. And they are amazing. They helped me find the love of the game. Like, I feel like I found the love of the game again. And I feel like I never even lost it, but I feel like I found the love of the game again. And the way they care about me, and they care about the person I am, and being a student, and all of the things, like, I genuinely want to play for them, and I want to make them proud. And I hope that they feel the same way. Like, they are some of the best people I've ever met. And so the minute that they said that, my thought was, I don't want them coaching another setter. I want them coaching me. And so the minute that offer was put on the table, it was a no-brainer for me.
I mean, even though my daughter decided she was gonna not play soccer, she had an opportunity to do a walk-on tryout for Coach Hudson. We had done camps or whatever, but bringing that up because these episodes and all the athletes that have chosen LSU have always talked about the family atmosphere, just how welcoming it is, the culture, and for my daughter, obviously raised her to be an LSU fan, but she hears y'all say that. And, I've never heard anybody say it just, tongue in cheek, just saying it to say it sound good. Like, all the LSU athletes I know just love their time there, whether as a student or as an athlete. Love the campus. Anytime I'm there, just enjoy it. We went there so many times as a family. And so I understand absolutely why you felt that way and why you chose it. And even, like I said, she decided to choose it, even though she wasn't going to play sports. So LSU is just, it's its own culture and the love that the people have down for there. And then, like you said, athletics. I love how every team supports every team. Like you said, during fall, you can only go to so many things, right? But like, just to bring it back around to Kaya, I've met Kaya at a soccer game. I've met Kaya at a volleyball game. I've met her at a football game. Like, she goes to all of them, and she's like every other athlete I know there. The way y'all love and support each other, it's just different down there.
Yeah, no, it's funny. So quick story from my visit. So when I came on my visit down here, I was in finals week at Iowa, and I was here for 24 hours. So they put everything they could in this visit. And we were touring the PMAC, and I'm great friends with a lot of the Iowa women's basketball players. And so when the LSU women's basketball staff heard that I was down here and I was from Iowa, one of the staff came to meet me in the PMAC and took me on a tour of the women's basketball locker room. And they were like, "You want to see the national championship trophy?" Like, it was so funny. And we were laughing about it. And they took me on a tour of the locker room. And she was so sweet. And she's like, "Well, I'll see you when you come back down here as a Tiger." And she said that, and that was it. And it was, she didn't have to do that. Like, she was like busy schedule. They were in season, and she took the time to introduce herself and talk with me. And that was one of those moments where I was like, she didn't have to do that at all. And it was something I vividly
Well, that's the beauty of, so when you win national championships in all these different sports and you have all these, I mean, LSU doesn't have a bad facility. Everything's beautiful. And, you know, they did the same thing when she was there with the soccer girls doing the visit. They took them through and saw the national championship football trophy, because we're talking about 3 years ago, and then took them on the field in Tiger Stadium. I'm like, they're so smart with what they're doing, walking them through Tiger Stadium, showing them the trophies. I was like, and the thing is, you can pick your sport, right? Because you said basketball, but you and now like gymnastics, right? You pick whatever sports you want. They can roll you through, show you championships, and say, look, here we have a bar set, and we only settle for, you know, going for national championships. Even soccer, you know, I brought it up, you know, soccer doesn't have one, but you wouldn't know it. I'm sure you've been over there. Obviously their field is the best in the SEC. I've been to all of them. It's beautiful. It's well maintained. I love they, you know, have the flags draped over from all the girls, different countries they represent. Just, I love what LSU soccer's done. And you would never know that they weren't an elite championship program because of the way they handle everything. But I think that's just LSU, right? Because that is what we do, and that's what we embody. And so absolutely love that that's the approach they took. How can you not, you know, they're walking you and showing you championships, like, hey, LSU volleyball can be next. You could be a part of it.
Yeah. No, I still remember it.
So let me ask you this part of it. You know, Iowa, I've been there a few times. Baton Rouge, I said, was its own culture. Like, how much of a culture shock was it going from Iowa your whole life to being in Louisiana?
It was a very immense culture shock. I didn't realize how big of a culture shock it was until Mardi Gras. Mardi Gras was really when it hit for me, because my teammate AC is from Lafayette, and so she kind of invited basically the whole team, and we went and stayed with her and experienced Mardi Gras out there with her family. And that was when it really hit me. I was like, wow, that we're not in Iowa anymore.
Yeah, it's everything, right? It's the music, it's the food, it's the sports, it's just something. The reason why every time I go down there, like, I'm glad I just go down there for weekends at a time now. We used to go on week-long trips, and I'd put on 7 to 10 pounds just eating and eating. Like, I don't know how to say no. I have no self-control. And so when I'm there for a weekend, I try to limit myself.
Yeah, no, the food is.
What was the first Cajun dish you had?
I think the first thing that I had was pasta laya, that AC's family.
Nice.
Yeah, pasta laya, and then the next like big one I had after that was we had a team crawfish boil.
Nice.
And that
have you been shown the secret of the Blue Store chicken store?
No, but every time I drive past it, they always have a big line.
Yes, they are the best wings in America. I stand by it. 3 years ago, I was showed them for the first time. I was told they were called crack wings. I was like, why they're called crack wings? They're like, try one. And they're called that because you can't just have one. You can't just have two. You keep going. I'll put it to you this way. My son doesn't even like wings. He went through 9 to the point his stomach hurt. During LSU baseball scrimmages, when you can actually carry food in, we'll get a whole box of them and do it. And so I've let a lot of transfers in on that secret. And when they have went and tried them, they've came back and said, because they're dry rub seasoning, and they're seasoned to perfection and they're not messy like the wet ones. I'm just telling you, you got to try. You know what? I might just show up with some Friday night for you. And you know what?
So
If y'all win and take care of business, I give them to you. If you make, if y'all lose while I'm there, I'm eating them myself. There you go.
little extra motivation.
Little extra motivation. No, I'm messing with you. I know y'all aren't gonna lose, and I'd give them to you anyway. But let's talk about it. Team, y'all won earlier, right? Correct? Didn't you say y'all had a game earlier?
We had a game this past weekend. We had 2 this past weekend.
I could have swore when I talked to you today, you said you were gonna have a game earlier today. I knew I didn't see it on schedule. I thought maybe it was. So with that, okay, I was going to go ahead and add a win on this record. Y'all are 6-2. Then I was going to say 7-2. Maybe I read something wrong. I don't know. Anyway, 6-2. I've only got to see one game this year. Mostly it has been highlights. But how do you feel about the chemistry of the team so far? Especially new pieces like yourself, and you have freshmen coming in, all these different things. So how do you feel about the chemistry of the team?
Yeah, I think our chemistry is honestly unlike any team I've been on. And I think that attests to the Europe trip that we went on at the beginning of the summer. All of us going to Europe, and I mean, traveling the world together just kind of bonds you in a different way. But also, we were able to play matches over in Europe, and we were able to have a string of training here at LSU prepping for Europe. So we've all been together longer than most teams that are just now getting together in the fall. And I think that bonding just kind of bonded us on a way deeper level and makes our chemistry unreal. Something that we talk about all the time is that the love that we have for each other is so great. And sometimes we love each other too much. Like that's a problem that we've talked about. Like, sometimes we love each other too much. And it's like, what a great problem to have. Like, so I would say that Europe trip really bonded us on another level. And I think it shows in how much we love and support each other on the court.
Yeah, and that kind of goes to LSU again. I see a lot of things being done by a lot of teams. We've had over 90 different schools here, but I've seen the baseball team, I've seen the gymnastics team, I've seen the volleyball team, soccer team, all of them. Don't just take, a little trip down the street and do some activity or whatever. Y'all do legit trips together where you bond and you spend a lot of time, and that always will carry over. The best teams, no matter what the sport, they're friends. They're friends on the court, they're friends off the court. It just really helps build chemistry. And so speaking of chemistry, I talked about you and the assist, almost 400 assists already. How much fun has it been, setting these girls up specifically, Journey Robinson, our girl, and off the bench guys. That video I thought said it well. I mean, I was talking to Reagan Rutherford about it, and I'll put it to you like this: she's an upperclassman on another team, but she's got Journey marked for an elite talent.
Yeah, no, Journey is in a league of her own. She's unreal. But I will say, honestly, all of our hitters, like it is so fun getting to run this offense and getting to set and call things and let my hitters go. And my hitters make me look good. They are unreal. And I obviously
make you feel tiny because, obviously it's going to be like that on any volleyball team, but I feel like you got a couple twin towers there when I was noticing.
Yeah, I feel short. That's why I like to do a lot of things outside of volleyball, because I tend to be taller among the general population, but a little bit shorter on my team. But yeah, I mean, I have some super athletic hitters on this team, and again, they make me look really good. And I wouldn't have a single assist if my hitter didn't put it down. So
that's that. You talk about the chemistry on the team, like you look at that volley or whatever, but I encourage anyone who's, watching highlight clips while, that's what I'm referencing, or watching on TV will never give you what you see in person. First of all, people just need to see how hard that ball is coming in, right? Things coming in hot. I remember the first game I went to was Kentucky Ole Miss, and I watched a ball get spiked off the girl's face, and there was nothing she could do about it because there was no way she could get her hands up. But yeah, the speed in which that ball travels, but everything from the initial dig that you'll see to, the pass and the setup and everything, and just all the moving parts, and even the parts that people don't understand where, you have a hitter coming from both sides, and then you as the setter decide who you're giving it to. And so one of them's not, it's just a decoy, just so many moving parts to it. And it's a beautiful thing. And it's like, when you talk about that chemistry, you have that well-oiled machine. And when you're getting to set up the assists, like you said, for these girls, but it all starts at the beginning of the play. And my favorite is sometimes I see highlights of you, or, we're talking about Emma Grome, where you make the initial dig, diving on the floor, and then next thing you're up setting, for the kill. And it's like, just everywhere, getting multiple touches in. And so I love it. I can't wait to be there Friday. I told you, ended up getting paid a little extra, got the front row seats for me and my daughter. But I want to talk to you after I see you Friday. Y'all go into SEC play, and you're coming from the Big Ten. I don't particularly know how strong the Big Ten is overall, but I do know how strong the SEC is in conference. So how excited are you to get into conference play?
I'm so excited. I loved being in the Big Ten for 4 years. I mean, the Big Ten is a powerhouse when it comes to volleyball, and now the SEC is also a powerhouse when it comes to volleyball. So I'm excited to play against new opponents, because I got kind of comfortable playing against the Big Ten and knew everyone pretty well. So that was the excitement of playing Maryland in preseason, as I knew them really well. So it was fun to get the win over them. But yeah, the SEC, I mean, everything just levels up. Like, the athletes are better. Everyone's more competitive. Everything is just a step up, and I'm so excited. And I think it's going to show. I think SEC play this year will really show how much this team has grown, and I'm really excited for it.
Nice. Well, the weekend after is actually family weekend, so the whole family will be there. And I will say, y'all do have, the gymnastics girls call my son good luck. So do the baseball boys. When my son, who is not even an LSU fan, you'll see him decked out in purple and gold, but he's actually a Mississippi State fan. And I try to withdraw the maroon, but when he comes to events, LSU always wins in Baton Rouge, and so he'll be with me. And I bring that up because y'all will be hosting #1 Texas and Reagan Rutherford. And when we had her on our show a few days ago for the Athletes of Faith, I told her it wasn't very Christ-like to beat other teams the way they're doing it. I was like, it's kind of rude the way some people, but they are playing really well. But are you excited to have them early, at home, so you can really test where you guys are at? Because I feel like it's only going to make you stronger, right? Because no team that you face after that is going to be that good. And so if you can, hopefully win, but even if you not win, play with them and show that you have it, I think it'll go a long way.
Yeah, no, I think it'll be a good test. I'm really happy that we have them early. I'm happy that we have them at home. But I think whatever way we come out of it, I think it'll be a great learning experience. And again, I think it'll tell us a lot about what we need to work on. And I think it'll also just give us a lot of confidence, because I think that we are a team that can compete with whoever is on the other side of the net and give them a run for their money and win. So I'm really, really excited, because I think that's going to be just a great test and just great volleyball in general. Texas is a great team with great humans on it as well. Like Reagan, I don't know her, but I see what she does online, and she just seems like a great human in general. And yeah, team of great volleyball players and great humans. And I think it's going to be a match that everyone will want to watch.
I love it. Not great people, but great humans. Hold on one second. I realized my computer cord came on plugged in. Unless we want this to die, I think I might want to do that.
Right. Yeah. That's funny.
Well, I think we're having issues. I've never had this done on a show before, Bailey. We're having fun right here.
Hey, I love it.
I don't know if maybe that outlet isn't working. Let's see. What we got going here? Still not working. Cord dying on me. What do we got going here? And of course, I don't have my editing app, so we're going to have to keep this on here. What is going on? We've been doing this 10th, 11th season. This never happened. What's going on? There it is. Hey.
Oh, I can hear it.
Back to. So for anybody who is watching that, hey, it just shows that, we work through any kind of adversity that we might get thrown our way. Usually we don't have any. Usually we run smooth. I don't know. But moving on. So obviously you talked about, they were just amazing people. I truly think it'll be a good test to to set y'all up, and then I'll get to see y'all the next week when y'all are on the road coming to Ole Miss. I live in this area. They actually got a decent, sized gym that's got a good environment. They love to have big crowds on Sunday, so they're going to come. They like to heckle. I think it'll be a good road test for y'all. And so with that, that's not the question I want to ask. Is there one specifically, because y'all have a lot of games on the road with a lot of big teams? Is there one where you're looking excited to, especially coming from the Big Ten where you've got all these new schools that you haven't played? Is there somewhere you're excited to go, not even just to play them in volleyball, but just to go to the school in general?
Yeah, I think my two that I'm looking forward to are Tennessee and Kentucky. So
Kentucky's new arena they play in. It's gorgeous. I got asked by Emma if I was going to be able to make it, and I told her, I said, the truth be told, my obligations to go into LSU now that my daughter's there, it's not even just that I'm an LSU fan. Kentucky is the opposite direction, and so I'm going to get to see her. She's got the same thing y'all got to do. Y'all come to Ole Miss and Mississippi State, where I'm going to get to see y'all. So does Kentucky. So I do get the advantage of seeing her, but not in that new arena. I'm sure you saw pictures, though. It's beautiful.
Yeah, no, I love that so many volleyball teams are getting new arenas. I think it's really cool, and it shows how the sport's growing.
Well, if they wouldn't have gotten that, I don't know it factually, but I'm willing to bet in the SEC, y'all hold the most, though, with being in the PMAC. And that's the beauty of women's sports, particularly. I love the gymnastics. I've been in there for a full packed house and over 12,000. And I've been there for a sold out women's basketball game. And I'd love to be in there for a sold out, volleyball match. And it just shows people's dedication to LSU athletics. And for me, as a girl dad and somebody, I love talking to you female athletes. I love seeing y'all get the exposure you do. So hopefully y'all can continue to build this season, get on a good run, and get some huge crowds in there, because I think y'all will obviously only feed off that, and sky's the limit with that. But with that, we got our game that we just want to play at the end. It's called This or That. It's very simple. I'll give you two options. You choose one or the other. Can't say neither, can't say both. Down to play?
Let's do it.
All right. Start off simple. Coffee or energy drink?
Energy drink, 100%.
Me too. I don't do coffee. My daughter is the only coffee drinker in our house. Me and my wife drink energy drinks, and my son, even though he's 12 and really shouldn't have them, we let him have them here and there. Nobody arrests me for that, but yeah, we only got one coffee drinker in the house. Hard or soft shell tacos?
Soft shell tacos.
All right. What's your favorite kind of meat to put in there? You like your chicken? You like your beef? You like your steak? What we put in there?
I'm always going with some steak tacos.
Can't go wrong. I mean, steak is steak.
Oh yeah.
All right. Luxury car or fast car?
Ooh. I was tempted to say both. I'm gonna go fast car.
There we go. We don't get enough fast cars. Everybody's running a roll luxury these days. Let's go fast.
Yeah, my dad is big in cars. He has a Shelby, so he's a big car guy.
Oh, we're gonna have to be friends. I have had 4 different ones. I have just a standard GT right now, 5.0. Before that, I actually had the premium edition of the 2017, and then some kid was texted and driving. He hit me. This was during COVID. Parts were impossible to find to fix my car. Spent 4.5 months without it. And needless to say, Bailey, he would be able to understand this, just because everything on it is modified and hard to get. And so I had to just let it go. And I'm sad, but I understand him, because my first vehicle I got all the way back was a 97 Mustang Cobra that I saved for. So I'm all about the Mustang. Yep. So tell him he's the man. I like what he does.
I love it.
All right. Important question. What's better, a dig or assist?
I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna say a dig.
All right. Dig, and this one's because you don't get as many, or a block.
Oh, a block, 100%. 100%. When I get a block, like not even just for myself, but the way that the team reacts is my favorite. My favorite.
I mean, I figured that would be the answer, but I don't know. I mean, they're also that's what I was saying earlier. They're also fascinating. I mean, whether you're laying out on the floor and digging one out or you're throwing up that perfect assist, obviously if you're killing one, it's got the glory. But the block, they say defense wins championships in basically any sport. So I mean, if you're up there blocking them at the net, you're getting it done.
Oh yeah.
All right. What is scarier, snakes or spiders?
Spiders, no question.
Absolutely, I'm with you. All right, what would you rather watch, a rom-com or a scary movie?
Rom-com.
All right, what's better, the purple jerseys or the gold jerseys?
I gotta go purple.
I agree.
Purple.
A lot of LSU traditionalists always love the gold, but I'm a fan no matter which sport we're talking about, baseball, football. I love purple. Big fan of it, but I get it on the gold. Y'all have the white also. Do y'all have a black?
Yeah, we have a black jersey that we wear for away games. I think we've only worn it like once this year.
That might be why I didn't know because I haven't really seen any pictures. Do you like the black ones?
Yeah, I really like the black ones. They're cool. I like them, but I'm a big sleeveless jersey girl. I love our sleeveless jerseys, and those are purple and gold.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right. Would you rather have, or not rather have, would you rather be at a luxury swimming pool or the beach?
The beach.
See, I added this question in a few months back because we went to California and I used to be stationed in California and Florida. And I don't know if it's because I'm old and I make complaints about things. I don't like the beach anymore because I don't like sand everywhere. Like, take me to a nice pool with a slide and all that good stuff and have fun with my son and not deal with the sand.
That's a fair argument. I do understand.
But you can't go wrong with both. If you're at the beach or luxury swimming pool, either way, that means you're either on vacation or got a nice day off. So,
Yep. No complaints.
All right. Last question, the money question. We find out a lot right here, Bayla. If I was to offer you a briefcase, duffel bag, whatever it comes in, crisp $100 bills that total to the sum of $5 million. And I said, Bailey, you can have this, or at the end of the season, y'all can hoist the national championship trophy. Which one you taking?
National championship. I would do anything to see the confetti fall on my team.
I believe you. Sometimes I don't believe people. And we very rarely actually get money, but last night, I think she was number 13 overall that actually said money. Usually it's always the national championship, but like I said, some people, I think they're lying. The way you fired that off and then even like described the confetti, I fully believe you.
No, that was one of the cool parts of something I've done is I've been able to run the social media for NCAA volleyball at the Final Four. So this past year I did some Instagram stories and TikTok. And so I was there when Texas won and when the confetti fell, and I have a piece of the net from the national championship in my backpack and I carry it with me everywhere. And that is always my dream when I think of this team, like in this coaching staff and just anyone involved. Like, I would do anything to sit back and watch the confetti fall on them, even if it's not me this year. Like, I would do anything to see the confetti fall on them.
I will make a guarantee if y'all make a run at it. I don't even know where. If this the championship is the same place like a lot of sports are, or is it in a different location each year?
Different location each year. Last year was in Tampa. This year it's in Kentucky.
Okay, Kentucky's not far away. Y'all make a run and get there. I will make a promise to be there to try to watch the confetti fall, and hopefully I get to see it. And I'm gonna have the camera locked in, watching you on your response. If it happens, I'm gonna watch you swim in it.
Oh, I love it! I can't wait to see the video.
There you go. Well, we got to get there first. One game at a time. We'll start with Friday. Make sure you get the dub with us. Watching y'all against San Diego. But before I let you go, is there anything you want to plug or promote? Do you have any merchandise or anything you want to put out there?
Yeah, I mean, I have merchandise. I have a podcast. So if anyone wants to listen to that podcast,
Who listens to podcasts?
right? What?
I don't know, man. Don't be trying to take my listeners because you got to. What if your podcast is better than mine? Don't take them away now. No, I'm just
It's
kidding.
not. It's
What
not.
are you talking about? Are you talking about volleyball, mental health? What are we talking about?
So I just share student athlete stories. So I like to talk about mental health if they're okay with it, but I just love bringing in LSU athletes and talking about their stories. So
That's awesome because actually they don't do it no more because obviously they graduated. But Johnny Teeler and Maddie Berezowitz were doing that at Kentucky. So,
yep.
And I love seeing the guests we have on continuing to do things to just bring attention to sports and, like you said, bring it to relative issues and everything. So, yeah, y'all go check. Where can they find you on Instagram?
It's just at Bailey Ortega, just my name spelled
Very
out.
simple. So follow her. You can find her merch there. You can find her podcast there. You can see her doing sweet digs and assists and maybe an occasional block. Obviously, you can check out LSU Volleyball. It's very simple. Typed out like that on Instagram. They do an amazing job. I really don't know an LSU media creative team for any sport that doesn't do an amazing job, but wish you nothing but the best of luck. Obviously, when I say that to most guests, I'm not fixing to see them like 3 consecutive weeks, but nonetheless, wish you best of luck for the rest of the season. See you on Friday. But if there's anything we can do for you and off the bench throughout the season, reach out to us. Let us know.
Just keep supporting the team. Keep supporting LSU volleyball. That's all I ask.
Absolutely. Well, that's Bailey Ortega, everybody. If you like hearing her story or you just like hearing us average Joes talk X's and O's, please like and share the podcast on Facebook. Retweet us on Twitter. Listen and subscribe on Apple, Spotify, and Anchor. As always, ratings, comments, hugs, love, feedback, all that good stuff is always welcome. Daniel will be back tomorrow night. We got an episode with Max Yield from West Virginia baseball. But in the meantime, remember, strong bodies, sharp minds, grit and grind all the time. We are out.